Queen Adesuwa begged the chief priest, "Please, let me see Osaze one last time." But the chief priest refused. "His fate has been sealed," he said. She swallowed hard. "What will happen to him?" she asked. The chief priest's face darkened. "Do not worry about him. Worry about your innocent parents, whom you have doomed." Adesuwa nodded her head. With her head high, she took her final steps. To Osaze, she whispered in the wind, "You showed me love, but now I have to walk into the unknown." She disappeared into the shrine. The night Queen Adesuwa was taken to the shrine, the kingdom was drowned in mourning. The people whispered in fear. Women wept in secret. And even the stars seemed dimmed. The chief priest led the ceremony, his chant echoing into the dark forest, where the shrine of the departed king stood. But unknown to all, as the sacrifice flame rose and Adesuwa's body was lowered beside the late king's, Osaze was nowhere to be found. The palace guards, who had pinned him to the ground, swore he vanished right before their eyes. Some said a wild wind swept him away. Others claimed the gods themselves had taken him. The chief priest warned everyone never to speak of Osaze again. His name was cursed, erased from the records of the kingdom, for he was seen as an abominable son of the soil. Yet, legend has its ways of surviving silence. Osaze felt his entire body spin as if a great unseen force had swallowed him. When the dizziness faded, he found himself back in his luxurious living room. The silence was deafening. He turned around in confusion, spinning wildly, calling out her name, "Adesuwa! Adesuwa!" But no voice answered. No soft giggle, no trace of her presence. His heart began to pound, and his breath quickened. No, 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 this can't be real. He turned in circles, searching every corner, as if she might appear behind him. But he was completely alone. The weight of loss crashed into him like thunder. Then, with a voice that came from the depth of his soul, he screamed, "No!" He fell to his knees, punching the cold marble floor until his knuckles bled. Tears streamed freely down his face. His cries echoed through the empty house. He wept for love, for loss, and for the helplessness that tore him apart. Suddenly, as if something snapped in him, he rose to his feet like a madman who had just regained sense. He dashed towards the front door, yanking the handle, but it wouldn't budge. He twisted and pulled, slamming it, but it refused to open. He looked down. No key. He searched his pockets frantically, and nothing. His heart pounding, he ran to the back door. Same thing, locked. Key missing. It felt like the house itself was holding him prisoner, like some invisible force didn't want him to leave. Rage filled him. He began smashing things, vase, tables, mirrors. His screams blending with the sound of shattering glass. "Let me out! I have to save her!" he cried, breaking down completely. He hit himself, clawed at his chest with his fingernails, until finally he collapsed on the cold floor, tears flooding his face. He cried until the cock crowed at dawn, until there was no tears left in him, until his body trembled and gave up. He lay there, staring up at his glittering chandelier through red, swollen eyes, his lips trembling. In a faint whisper, he said, I couldn't save you. I couldn't save you. Hours passed. Then night turned to dawn. But Osaz's grief didn't fade. For 3 days he lay there without food or water, trapped in grief and silence, replaying every moment he shared with Queen Adesua. Their laughter, her shy smile by the river, the warmth in her voice. On the fourth day, his weak body stirred. He blinked, forcing himself to move. As his blurry eyes met the front door, he froze. The key, it was there, right in the keyhole. He blinked again, rubbing his eyes in disbelief. How? He asked. How didn't I see this before? He muttered, staggering towards it like a man waking from a long nightmare. Was he blinded by pain, or had something truly hidden it from him? He turned towards the back door, and the key was there too. His heart pounded as he fumbled to open the front door. As soon as it creaked open, fresh air rushed in. Then he heard it, the low, ancient rhythm of drums rolling from afar, the same sacred drum beat of the Benin kingdom, the same sound that echoed that night. And suddenly Osaze choked on the air. He gasped and coughed violently, clutching his chest, his lungs burning as if the wind carried the weight of sorrow. He staggered out and sat on his doorstep, watching the golden sun sink slowly behind the horizon. Silent tears rolled down his cheeks as the drum beat grew louder, deeper, and heavier with grief. Meanwhile, in the great land of Benin, the people mourned in silence. It was the period of sacred mourning. No one was allowed outside after sundown. Men, women, children, even traders and farmers all rushed to finish their daily work before the cry of the ancient drum signaled the coming of night. Osaze finished crying at his doorstep and staggered to his feet, his body weak, but his mind made up. He walked back into his house and slowly changed his clothes. He put on a dark suit, black shoes, and then reached for his sunglasses, dark enough to hide his red, swollen eyes. Eyes are the windows to the soul, but Osaze didn't want anyone to see the pain that burned within his. He dragged his luggage to the door, paused for a moment, and took one last look around the house that had witnessed his madness, his tears, and his heartbreak. Then, with a deep sigh, he walked out and left for the airport. When he finally arrived back abroad, when he finally arrived abroad, he took a cab straight to his mother's house. The moment he stepped in and saw her, all the pain he had been holding in his heart burst out. His mother gasped, dropping what was in her hand as Osaze fell to the ground in front of her. Osaze, my baby, what happened? She cried, running to him. They took her away from me, mother. He sobbed uncontrollably. She's gone. I couldn't save her. He clung to his mother like a child crying from the deepest part of his soul. His poor aged mother held him tightly, rocking him like a baby, tears running down her wrinkled cheeks. She had been the one who urged him to go back and fight for his love. So she shared in his pain. Shh, it's okay, my baby, she whispered. I am here for you. We will get through this together, I promise. It's okay. They both cried for a long time until Osaz's sobs weakened. Then, in a faint voice, he said, Mom, I'm hungry. I haven't eaten in 4 days. His mother quickly rose, wiping her tears. Okay, son, let me get you food, she said, hurrying towards the kitchen. But as she left, Osaz's eyes fell on the knife she had been using to peel fruit before he walked in. He picked it up slowly, staring at its shining blade. His heart felt heavy, but at the same time at peace. But at the same time at peace. Mom, he whispered, tears returning to his eyes. Please forgive me. Adesuwa, my love. I am coming, he said. Before another thought crossed his mind, he plugged the knife into his stomach. Moments later, his mother returned with a tray of food only to drop it as her eyes caught the horrifying sight of her son. Osaze! She screamed. The tray shattered on the floor as she rushed to him, holding his lifeless body, crying uncontrollably. An ambulance was called. Osaze was rushed to the hospital. Doctors worked tirelessly, but after 35 minutes, one of them approached his mother in the hallway, head bowed. I am sorry, the doctor said softly. We did our best. His mother screamed, collapsing to the floor. But just as the doctor was about to leave, a nurse ran towards him. Doctor, he's breathing again. His mother gasped and cried out in Benin language. Oh, Salobwa Wese, meaning God, I thank you. The doctors rushed back and walked non-stop until Osaze's heartbeat was stabled. But though his body lived, his spirit has drifted far away. Osaze had fallen into a coma, and finally his mother walked in and sat beside him after he was stabled. Then she said, So, this was how you wanted to leave me, she said, sniffing her nose. Well, I forgive you because I can see she loved you enough to send you back to me. His mother rubbed on his palms and noticed a strange marking in form of a circle on his hand. She swore it wasn't there before when she held him. She stood up and gave him a kiss on the head and walked out without looking back to notice the silent tears rolling down Osaze's eyes. Whilst in that coma, Osaze found himself at the road leading to the shrine of the kings. Osaze followed the path to the shrine where her remains were buried beside the old king. He carried a lamp and a small gourd of oil. The forest was silent except for the whispers of the wind. He knelt before the mound, his voice shaking as he said, Adesua, can you hear me? I'm back. I'm sorry I couldn't save you. He sobbed, then began pouring the oil he was holding. As he poured the oil, a gentle wind stirred the leaves. From the darkness came a faint humming. the same melody she used to sing at the river. The ground beneath the shrine glowed faintly. Adesuwa's voice, soft, echoing. Osaze, my love, you returned. He looked up, eyes wild. Her spirit appeared before him, radiant yet sorrowful. She smiled, touching his cheek. Adesuwa continued, you must go back, my love. The gods had freed me, but your journey is not yet done. You carry the blood of a chief and the heart of a stranger. You must use both to heal the land that punished love. Let out your pain and hold no grudges. Tears filled his eyes. Let me stay with you, he said. She shook her head gently as she replied, not yet. When the kingdom learns love can exist beside traditions, then our souls shall meet again. With that, her spirit faded into the night. But for Osaze, days passed, then weeks, months, and then a year. His mother visited daily, praying, crying, refusing to let go. Even when doctors suggested turning off Osaze's life support. And amidst all that, something strange was bothering his mother and the hospital staff. Osaze had not aged in a single day since he was admitted to the hospital. 5 years down, and his body didn't change. He didn't age. His skin remained fresh, his hair untouched by time. 7 years later, one beautiful morning, his mother walked into his hospital room as usual and froze. Osaze was sitting upright on his bed, staring at her with calmed eyes. Osaze, she whispered, trembling. He smiled faintly. She screamed for the doctors, who ran in and examined him. All the tests came back perfect. He was healthy, alive, and awake. When they finally discharged him, his mother wept for joy. But Osaze was different. Calm, quiet, peaceful, yet distant. After a few days, he packed a small bag. Where are you going again? His mother asked. I am going back to Benin, Mom, he said gently. And this time, I am staying permanently. I'm not coming back anymore. And don't miss me too much, he said, embracing her. But if you do, promise me you'll come visit. And she nodded, with tears rolling down her face. She watched him leave, unable to stop him. 2 days later, Anosaze arrived in the great land of Benin. The air felt familiar, the scent of earth and palm wine. The once glorious palace of the king still stood tall, and a new king has emerged. But the people still whispered that the spirit of the river had grown restless since the night of Adesuwa's sacrifice. Fishermen claimed to hear a woman's voice crying at the Oka River, singing songs of love, loss, and forbidden passion. Then one day, Osaze decided to do the unthinkable. He visited the palace to pay homage to the new king, just as Queen Adesuwa had told him. But the king was not on the throne that day, except for his chiefs, and one of them, Eda Ehizogie, said, you are welcome to the great land of kings, Edonobaye. But who? Who are you? And from whence did you come from? Osaze raised his head slowly. His voice was soft, but heavy with sorrow. I am Osaze, son of Chief Obage Nosamundiana. The room fell silent. Some gasped, others crossed their arms in disbelief. The second chief, Eda Omorogi, replied, Impossible. The son of Obagye vanished a decade ago. His name was cursed by the gods. Or does Obagye now have another son? Osaze smiled faintly. Cursed? He replied, Perhaps, but not by the gods. And my elders, I am the only son of my father. He began. When the guards dragged me from Queen Adesua, I was taken to the forest, tied beneath the great Iroko tree. They left me to die, but before dawn she came. The elders leaned in, paying attention as he speaks, as if listening to a sweet gossip. Osaze continued, voice trembling. Adesua, her spirit stood before me, dressed in white, glowing like the river's moon. She said the gods were angry at us, but she begged them to spare me. In exchange for my life, I became bound to pain. I slept for years in coma, trapped between life and death, until the gods released me. After a while, he left, leaving the elders speechless and confused on how he survived. Then he made his way to the Oka River, their secret place, and laid one red rose on the water, whispering, For you, my queen, who loved without fear. He then sat on a stone by the water, watching it shimmer under the sun, lost in the little memories they had made together. Then suddenly, a soft female voice broke his silence. Hi, are you okay? What are you doing here alone? He turned sharply and froze. Standing before him was a young woman, a spitting image of Queen Adesua. Her skin glowed under the sunlight, her eyes gentle yet full of curiosity. He stared, unable to breathe. Then, in a trembling whisper, he said, Adesua. Huh? What did you say? She asked, smiling awkwardly. He shook his head slowly, still staring. She stretched out her hand with a soft smile, as if for a handshake. Hi, I am Adesagbon. You seemed a bit strange, but something in me just feels drawn to you. Are you all right? Osaze hesitated, then took her hand. He said, Can I call you Adesua? She laughed lightly. If that is what you want, sure. I also love the name. It reminds me of the beautiful love story of our dear Queen Adesua a decade ago. According to those that witnessed it, they said she was brave. Osaze held her hand. As their hands touched, unknown to Osaze, the strange circular mark on his hand vanished, disappearing as if it was never there. They both sat by the river bank, talking for hours, laughing, sharing stories. It felt natural, like two souls that had always known each other, finding each other again. And that was how Osaze found Adesagbon, his new Adesua, and he never left her side again. The moral lesson in this story is that traditions are stronger than emotions when bound by the gods. Osaze's love for Adesua cost him his peace, his sanity, and nearly his life. But it also proved that true love never dies. It only transforms. And sometimes the universe grants a second chance, not to rewrite the past, but to heal from it. My beautiful people, what do you think about the connection between Osaze and Queen Adesua? Do you believe Adesagbon was a reincarnation of the young queen, or simply destiny giving Osaze peace? And lastly, who really is Adesagbon? A stranger, a blessing, or the spirit of Queen Adesuwa's rebirth? Thank you for watching this beautiful story.